The Zappos slogan is "Powered by Service." What started as shoes has expanded into handbags, apparel, and accessories. Their ultimate goal is to be the company that provides the absolute best service online. Zappos believes that when it comes to online purchases, immediate gratification is a critical issue. The speed and ease at which a customer receives a purchase plays a critical role in whether or not that customer will shop with you again.
We're growing very, very quickly, and our biggest challenge is that we need to hire good people and get them in, trained, and continue to be motivated and to add value to the company.
Probably the #1 challenge is just hiring people, finding people that are passionate about customer service, because that's what Zappos is all about. And it's not just for what we call our customer loyalty team, our call center, but for everyone that joins the company. Because if the Zappos brand is going to be about the very best service, then everyone who joins needs to be passionate about customer service.
There are not a lot of companies where you can go and just rave about their customer service, but the few that provide really great customer service, you have a very, very loyal following. And I think that's what has helped Zappos over time. From a business standpoint, that loyal customer base has turned into, on any given day, 75% or more of our sales are to repeat customers, customers that have purchased from us before. So we're not constantly remarketing to customers and trying to acquire new customers.
You have to hire people with great attitudes and that want to provide great service. And so we've refined our interview and hiring process a lot over time to make sure that we are getting the right people with the right attitudes.
You may be an accountant or you might be our general counsel. It doesn't matter. We care so much that you understand our history, our culture, and what we do for the customer, that you go through 4 weeks of training, 3 of which is in the classroom, a week on the phones, and then we send you to our warehouse outside of Louisville, Kentucky, so that you can pick, pack, and ship for our customers and understand the guts of the business before you start whatever you do.
When we started out, our tagline was the web's most popular shoe store, but that didn't really make sense as we expanded into handbags and apparel and so on. So we need a new tagline, and just like the products that we add are based on customer feedback, we asked our employees for feedback on what they thought was an appropriate tagline, and we knew that we wanted something that would communicate that Zappos isn't just about shoes or any specific product category, that our real product is great service. And so we just thought Powered by Service made the most sense.
Now, this is our receiving dock. This is where all of our shoes come in from our manufacturers and distributors. These conveyors will extend into the trucks, and as the trucks come in, we'll unload the master cases, load them onto the conveyor, and then the conveyor will take it to the receiving station that it has to be received at. All the conveyor has inline barcode readers. There's barcodes on the sides of the boxes, and as the box goes through the conveyors, it decides where it needs to go and routes it accordingly. Kind of on average, on a typical day, we can get about 20 to 30,000 units or pairs of shoes in any given day, and sometimes as much as 60,000 in one day. After the truck, the items are automatically diverted to each one of these individual receiving stations. We have 20 of them right now. We can run 20 at one time. The receiver will open these cases, take the individual items out of the case, and there's a manufacturer's UPC on each one of these. They'll scan that item, and one thing that we do is a little bit different. We put an individual barcode on every single item. So every item, even if they're identical, will have individual serial numbers, so we can track it from cradle to grave, the history of that item. And then that also enters it into our inventory system and receives it. That's the point of receipt for us at that point. After the item is received, then all the receiver has to do is slide it over onto a takeaway belt that will then take it through our system and put it into our inventory system for storage. Customers will often have to return an item because it's not the color they expected. It doesn't look exactly like what they thought. Maybe it doesn't fit as well, so they return the item, and all of the items come back here to return specialists. And these are our most highly trained teammates that we have working here because they understand a wide variety of products. This merging system right here, and we call it the spider merge because it looks like a spider with a bunch of legs. What this was designed and installed for, at fairly big expense, was to speed up the conveyors. The original configuration of the building, the first design iteration, was, and very typical what almost all warehouses or distribution centers look like, is you start on the first floor and you serpentine up to the second floor, then the third floor, then the fourth floor, and then out to outbound. The problem with that is we had a 35-minute conveyor travel time with that system from the furthest point of pick to our outbound system. Since we want to be able to fulfill our orders in an hour or less, we can't afford to let it sit on the conveyor for half an hour. So now we have everything on all floors come together in this spider merge, all merges together and then goes to outbound. So now our conveyor travel time is 5 minutes instead of 35 minutes. Everything is 100% completely random access stored. By storing it completely random access, it's actually much more accurate from an inventory standpoint. The item is almost always going to be where the computer thinks it is. Our inventory accuracy is better than any company I've ever experienced with before. We have a quarterly audit from our bankers that audit our inventory. I know from personal history for the last 2 years that they've been auditing us, we've never had an inventory discrepancy, not once in 2 years. So that's one of the advantages of that. The other advantage is if I stored things together by size, color variation, and manufacturer, and I sent a picker there and I said, go pick a 7.5 Clark's brown certain model of shoe, they're more error prone. It's hand picked from here. We use RF scanners. We don't do any paper picking or pick from list, but the system will direct the picker where to go, what to pick, and they pick it and put it on a takeaway conveyor. It's always a moving number, but we have over 1,100 brands in inventory right now on our website. We have over 900,000 SKUs. We have over 3.7 million units in inventory in this building. So there's, pretty staggering numbers. We sell about 27,000 units a day right now this time of year. We expect to sell about 60,000 units a day at Christmas time this year. Right now, our average, from the time a customer clicks the button until it's sitting on a truck ready to go to our carrier, is about 3.5 hours, which is very fast. And that's an average. So there's a fair amount of variation in that. We do many of our orders in under an hour. And different times of the day are faster than other times of the day. During the daylight hours, the early hours, the morning and afternoon shift, we're actually a little bit slower. We have a lighter number of workers in the building because the critical truck pulls to get it there the next day are all at night. So processing it in an hour or less right now is not very important because it's just going to sit on the truck until tonight. Tonight it'll be crucial. This whole building is 832,000 square feet, or roughly 19.8 football fields under roof. We only built in, initially last year we moved into this building, we only built out half of that building, so 416,000 square feet is in use right now. However, in January of next year we're going to have to start building in the other half. We have 23,000 feet of conveyor in the building. We have 5 sliding shoe sorters that are diverting things to different parts of the building. About 2/3 of that conveyor is broken down for the outbound post-picking processes and shipping process, and about 1/3 of it is on the inbound side for returns and receipts. This area up here is our box manufacturing area for erecting boxes and delivering it to packing. Everything you see in this lane is all singles processing or singles packing. And what the packer's doing at this point is they scan the barcode on the item. That scan then initiates a packing slip to be printed. She's putting a barcode on the outside that peels off that packing slip. That's now the order ID for that item. So on the shipping line, there's another sorter after we put the label on the outside. And what that does is it will divert automatically down to a dock that a UPS truck is at, or a FedEx truck, or a postal truck is at. If it's a multi-order, the system knows that, and it will automatically divert it to this side, which is the multi-sort area. If you see, we have several of these shelf units, and each one has a barcode. That's a location. Each one of those locations constitutes a customer order. We have several of these divert points, which is for that range of bins. Now, the system knows which bin that item is supposed to go to. So it'll automatically divert down the appropriate lane. It won't just randomly go down a lane. It'll go down a lane that's next to the bin that it's supposed to go in. So the sorter then takes the item off of the divert, scans it, and it tells them what bin to put it in. Once the order is complete, there's a printer in the middle of the shelf unit that will print out a packing slip. That packing slip is the cue for the packer on the other side that that order is complete. What they will do then is they will scan the packing slip, which opens that order up. They'll scan the bin, and they'll scan all the items in that bin. What that does is, if in case somebody accidentally slotted it to the wrong side or whatever, this is the last quality check to make sure that we have the correct items in the right bin going to the right order. So they pack it on the other side, and once they pack it, they put it on the conveyor, and it goes off to shipping in the same area the singles do. At that point, it's an order in a box. It's completed. We keep an eye on our order cycle time throughout the day, how fast our order's being fulfilled, how many orders we have in the bucket, the workable bucket, the picking bucket, the variety of buckets, so we know how to manage the workflow through the building. We have as close to a continuous flow process as I've ever seen. As orders come in, it's almost liquid the way they flow through our system and flow out. We don't batch anything up at all. The other thing is all of our systems are homegrown. So we've written and developed all of our systems the way we want them to be, not the way a particular vendor would give them to us. The hardware is the hardware. It's pretty standard stuff. But the software and our methodologies behind it is what's unique to us as opposed to other companies. We've grown a lot since we've moved here. 5 years ago when the company moved here, we had 20 people in 50,000 square feet with about 20,000 pairs of shoes. And now we have over 1 million square feet in total between two buildings, 832,000 feet in this building, 500 people, and 3.7 million pairs of shoes. So that's a lot of growth.
Things like free overnight shipping or paying for free return shipping, running our call center 24/7, running the warehouse 24/7. All of those things are expensive, but then it causes customers to have a great experience and come back again and again.
The footwear market is relatively large. We can continue to grow in the footwear market, just staying in the U.S. and just expanding that market. But our customers have asked us, why don't you sell handbags? Why don't you sell accessories? Why don't you sell apparel? And over time, we listen to our customers. Some of them have even mentioned, will you start an airline because you provide such great service? And it's not in the next 5 or 10-year goal, but maybe one day.